You are listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live.
Half soaked for the first 45. It's still playing like a friendly, still pre-season. Very laboured, very casual, too casual. And they need to book their ideas up quick time. Dean Smith is right to call them out afterwards. That first 45 was quite a joke, to be fair. The way Watford came about and there was no answer. That target being hooked off at half time, he went at the races at all. So, plenty of questions to answer. They need a massive response next week against Newcastle. Watford are at it. They just wanted it more. Simple as that. Outmanned, outmuscled in every department. Amy Buendia, he had a rude awakening today. Villa's club record signing. He got bullied, to be fair. And so did a lot of them. So, I think they need to book their ideas up big time. Big bop on the nose. I called it afterwards. Big bop on the nose. They got there, and that can't happen again. And Smith, it's up to him now to make sure it doesn't. Starting at Newcastle next week. Yeah,
I've seen loads of almost overreaction on social media today, which always comes with a bad Villa result. That's fair. Get on the beers, Ash. Absolutely, go for it. And I don't want to call Newcastle a must-win because it'll be the second game of the season, and it feels silly to say there's must-win games. But that first game back at Villa Park in front of our fans, the mood will be horrific if we lose that game.
Yeah, rightly so. Yeah, Watford had a really good crowd behind them today, and it's going to be even better next week when the Villa boys are behind them. So they can't dip below them standards. They can't hit them standards today like they did against Watford. The crowd will be right behind them from the first whistle. Today's out the window. We move on from today. Okay, it stings a little bit now, but once kick-off comes 3 o'clock next week at Villa Park, it's going to be a real atmosphere there. They're going to get right behind the boys, and it's up to them to respond, isn't it, Dan? They need to come out there and give the Villa fans something to shout about. Villa fans have been locked out of Villa Park for too long now, and they need to put on a show. I said before, Watford, I think Watkins coming back in will really help Villa intensity-wise. Smith said that as well. So go for it, blow them away. I want Villa to come out there next week with something to prove after today, because it was horrific today. It really was. Watford just bashing Villa from pillar to post, and okay, they come on all right later on, but it weren't good enough, and a big response next week. Otherwise, 20 minutes in, they're not doing it. The Villa fans going to be on the back. Simple as that. It's always been the same. So, positive for me today was Leon Bailey. I thought he was very bright when he come on. McGinn's goal. So that's a plus point today for me. Defence needs to book their ideas up a little bit. Matt Target weren't at the races. I think Ashley Young could start next week. I thought he handled Sarr quite well today in the second half. So we'll see there. But get Watkins back in. But they need to run themselves into the ground next week. And hopefully the Villa fans will be shouting about 3 points.
We'll do a proper in-depth podcast on Monday when we've got more time, because I know you've got a train to catch very soon. Talk to me about the debutants then. Ash Young back for us, Danny Ings in there, Bailey comes on. How did you rate them all? You don't need to go into massive detail, because I said we'll do another podcast, but just a quick kind of summary of each of those for me.
Yeah, Ashley Young did really well. So, he started on the left-hand side, and then when he went back to left-back, I thought he managed Sarr quite well in the second half. Thought that threat was nipped in the bud, personally. The target strong against him. Elsewhere, I thought Buendia really struggled today. He was gobbled up. He wanted too much time on the ball. Wasn't physical enough, but Watford bossed him in the middle. Danny Ings starved of service a little bit, but I think he got a bit more in the second half. Got his goals off the board, isn't he? That's 1-in-1 for him. That's a plus. Okay,
that's always important, isn't it?
It is,
It didn't get us any points, but it's important for your striker to score goals.
Your striker's off the mark. That's a real plus. I thought Leon Bailey looked really bright when he come on. He made that goal, win at the opposition, chopped inside, chopped away. And I think he's going to be a good one. I really do. Yeah, Davies did okay. I thought just overall, performance-wise, they weren't at it. I thought Dean Smith was bang on with his assessment. It was miles off the pace, and it was like a friendly for him. And they need to stop that from now, because there's no friendly games in the Premier League. You get found out as they did today. So yeah, there is a couple of positives to say, but not many, Dan.
I feel like that game's given us more questions than it's answered questions. I don't really know how we line up best. I don't know what our best formation is. You look on paper of Buendia, Bailey, Ings and Watkins, and how all four of those can start when your midfield is so lightweight in McGinn and Nakamba at the moment. McGinn, to be fair, got his goal, and it was a great finish and a good assist from Bailey as well. And to be fair, Bailey and Traore did change the game. That last 20 minutes we did look better. But you think, why do we have to wait until we're 2-0, 3-0 down, or whatever it was, 2-0 down to start playing? Yeah, it's just a frustrating one, and you've got to go and beat Newcastle now, and the pressure is on Villa a little bit to go and do that. I back them to do it because you're at Villa Park, and Newcastle aren't. It's not like you got Man City first game, but it's difficult when all the fans are going to be a little bit low after today. Talk to me a little bit about Nakamba specifically. There's a lot of stuff on social media about him this afternoon before the season. We're saying he might be a bit of a dark horse to keep his place in the side this season. But he just didn't look on it today, did he? I don't want to make too many snap judgments off a 190-minute game, but he didn't look good today.
They're just overrun, weren't they? I think when you're playing a two in there, like Villa did, but I know Buendia was number 10, but it was McGinn and Nakamba. They got overrun. The Watford three in midfield, just so much bigger than the pair of them. So Nakamba tried his hardest. I felt sorry for him a little bit. He tried to do it all. He tried to be he slipped things in quite well for a through ball. He was trying to do defensive side and attacking side. That's not his game, is it? He needs people around him. He needs to sniff out the danger. And when Villa wanted to go on the front foot, it was on Nakamba's shoulders to do that. It's not his game. I felt sorry for him in there today. I thought he was quite isolated. He can't do it all. Do you know what I mean? I thought Buendia didn't help him out at all. McGinn was here or there. But in the middle of the park, they were bust. Start to finish. Watford guys wanted it more. Nakamba, he got swamped in there at times. And whose fault is that? I mean, when the pressure's on, he can't do it all himself. I do feel sorry for him in that aspect. He did try and play, but that's not his game, is it? I think his game is when Villa are playing against the big boys, when they're not having much of the ball, whereas at times Villa tries to go toe-to-toe Watford today, and they got a bloody nose for it. So yeah, I think the system needs to be question marks with the system. Dean's back to a 4-2-3-1 today. Watkins come back in next week. What happens there is you go two up top. Midfield department, still short. Douglas Luiz is back in on Monday. Well, he'll help that department, but still short there. Morgan Sanson, how fit is he? They need as much help as they can get in that midfield area at the moment, because it's question marks are there. It's not good enough. Watford have made to look like a Chelsea or a Man City today in there. They really were. Cleverly was one of the best players on the park, and that's Tommy Cleverly from playing for Villa years ago. So just goes to show how short they are in midfield at present. They've got no real ball players in there. No one wanted to get on the ball, and I'll show a bit. Well, nobody was like that today. So there needs some personality there. Too many shied away from that today. Once the crowd got going, the crowd were on Villa's backs. They didn't want to know. They wilted Villa. So a bit of a reality check, I'd say, Dan. Real reality check.
You say they need some personality in there, but do they need some personnel in there? Does this kind of prove that they need to sign another midfielder? Because that system just looks weak as it is at the moment.
So what are you doing? You got Douglas Luiz. You're going to bin him off, are you? Or Sanson? What are you going to do with him? You're going to get rid of him?
Oh, it's difficult, I know.
It is difficult. There is some bodies in there, Dan, but it's having that right type of player, that personality, like I say, to come in, box that midfield, want the ball, demand the ball. There aren't many players doing that at the moment. You can't put that on Nakamba's shoulders. He's a more defensive midfielder. He's your insurance policy when you're going forward. So, I think today has given these people a question to ask in the transfer window. Did you go back in for a number 8 now, or a real top operator in central midfield? That's a question that he'll ask himself now, going back on the bus. So we'll soon see as the window ticks down whether Villa address that. But big wake-up call needed for next week, Dan.
Can Buendia play that number 8, do you think? Because they look better with a 4-3-3 than a 4-2-3-1, I think. Buendia being as a 10, I'm not so sure. You could have Watkins play left, Ings up front, Bailey right wing, Buendia as an 8 with McGinn and Nakamba, Luiz, Sanson, or a new midfielder. I think that third spot is up for grabs. Does that work, or has Buendia always got to be a 10 or a right winger? Can he play a bit of a box-to-box role or not?
It's just that physicality, Dan. I mean,
yeah, true.
They had Watford lads today just bossed him. He's too small to be in there to mix it about a bit. Do you know what I mean? And put his body in. He's getting weights off the ball at times. So I think he does better. He does his damage further up the pitch. He gets space on the right hand side, doesn't he? And he did drop a bit too deep today as well, but then getting the ball off the back four and stuff, and one him further up like. So he's a tough one to judge at the moment. Let's not forget, it's a new side that's still gelling. It'll take a couple of weeks. But obviously the fixtures, they are kind at the moment. Newcastle next week, then I say Brentford over the weekend. That ain't an easy game anymore, is it? So then it's the big boys come to town. Chelsea go to Chelsea, Man U. So it's going to be a tough old few weeks of it. So get a win next week against Newcastle, get the points on the board, get the momentum back, and also play for again. But they can't be showing signs they did today. They can't be putting in a performance like they did today again or anytime soon.
I think it's important not to have too much of a negative overreaction because, like you said, it's the first game. I've sat here 2 or 3 minutes ago and said Nakamba's probably not good enough, but everyone can have a bad 90 minutes, and I'm not just going to write a footballer off for that. We've all said before the season started, we've got to adapt to no Jack Grealish as much as people don't want to hear about it. That was a big saga over the summer. You got 5 new signings into Anzaibi, Young, Ings, Bailey and Buendia. 3 of those probably start every single game in a best 11. So it's going to take time to gel. But like you said, you've got to show signs that you're stepping forward in the right direction, and there's not reasons to be concerned.
You have, yeah. It's just boils down to this system for me. It's going to take a few weeks. We know that. And people like Buendia, they still get used to playing with their new teammates. Young's been there before and done it. He showed that today for me. Turns out he's been there, done it before as well for Villa. But it's a new boys, how they're going to link up at the front end of the pitch, how they're going to gel, how they're going to get that understanding. That understanding be developed at Bodymoor Heath. So it's on the training pitch now to the coaches to get the best out of these players and the best system to most effective. So it'll be so intriguing to see how the line up against Newcastle next week. They did really miss Ollie Watkins today. That press and that harrying the centre backs, it causes mistakes to happen, and then Villa can capitalise. But I think Leon Bailey really showed signs today. He's just come out of quarantine. He's had a day with his team. He's had a day with his teammates, and he's had played the last half hour. Got an assist. Looked menacing. I think that's a real plus point today to take. I think he's pushing to start next week. So we'll see with that one. Early days, though, Dan, like I've said, and we'll see where we go. Next week's a big one.
Final question before I let you get that train. Does today concern you, or the reason still that you can be positive about Villa's season?
No, I'm not going to judge yet. I'm not going to judge at all. Watford had a good crowd behind them today. Something Villa haven't experienced in a long old while. But I thought that helped Watford today. Salah getting on the front foot early doors and just Target being miles off it as well. So Watford had momentum from the off. So I'm not going to judge them yet. I'm going to probably judge them after Brentford. Newcastle-Brentford, see where we're at then before the international break. And after that, it's Chelsea. And then you get a good understanding where Villa are at this season. So, I mean, it's all talk about Europe, isn't it? In the close season, European this, European that. Couldn't be further from it at the moment, given today's display. So, a lot to do, a lot of questions to answer. And we should have those answers next week against Newcastle.
Lovely stuff, Ash. Thank you very much for your time. This quick kind of post-match reflections, I think we've called it. Just doing a 10-minute, 12-minute Facebook Live after every game. We'll do a proper in-depth podcast on Monday, probably lunchtime. So we'll chat when we've got more time then. Thanks everyone who watched long. We do appreciate it, and we'll be back again at the start of next week.
Yep, keep the faith, yeah.
Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.